Imagine wild, stormy Scotland, mists swirling, winds howling, and a battlefield still echoing with the clash of swords. Macbeth, a celebrated thane and war hero, returns victorious, earning King Duncan's gratitude and the admiration of all. As Macbeth and his loyal friend Banquo head home, the air grows strange, thick with the sense that something uncanny is about to unfold. In this land where the supernatural feels close, destiny is about to whisper Macbeth's name. On a lonely heath, Macbeth and Banquo encounter the Weird Sisters, three witches whose riddles chill the blood. They greet Macbeth as Thane of Glamis, Thane of Cawdor, and future king. Banquo is told his descendants will be kings. The witches vanish, leaving the men stunned, until messengers arrive, naming Macbeth Thane of Cawdor. The prophecy's first truth unsettles Macbeth, planting the seed of ambition. If the witches were right once, could he really become king? The path ahead, once clear, now forks into darkness. At Inverness, the castle stands as a silent witness to the unfolding drama. It is here, amidst the ancient stones and echoing halls, that destiny begins to take a dark and fateful turn. Macbeth, now Thane of Cawdor, shares the witch's prophecy with his wife. The words leap from the page, igniting a spark of ambition that will soon consume them both. He recounts the supernatural encounter, the promise of kingship hanging heavy in the air. Lady Macbeth, upon receiving the letter, is immediately consumed by the possibilities. Her mind races, envisioning a future where she reigns supreme alongside her husband. Her ambition blazes a raging inferno that threatens to consume everything in its path. It is a hunger for power that knows no bounds, a desire that eclipses all reason and morality. Her ambition burns even brighter than his, fueled by a ruthless determination and an unwavering belief in her own destiny. She sees the crown within reach, and she will stop at nothing to claim it. Yet she fears Macbeth, recognizing a certain hesitancy within him. She believes he is too kind, too filled with the milk of human kindness, to take the necessary steps to achieve their shared ambition. She worries he lacks the ruthlessness required to seize the crown, to spill blood and betray trust in the pursuit of power. So she steels herself, preparing to manipulate and goad her husband into action. She resolves to be the driving force, the catalyst for their ascent to the throne. She calls on dark spirits, invoking the powers of evil to strip away her femininity and fill her with unwavering cruelty. She prays for cruelty, for the strength to commit unspeakable acts in the name of ambition. With King Duncan, unsuspecting and trusting, staying the night as a guest within their castle walls, the opportunity presents itself. Lady Macbeth urges, she implores, she badgers. Lady Macbeth urges Macbeth to act, to seize the moment and claim what they believe is rightfully theirs. She relentlessly questions his courage, challenging his manhood and his resolve. She even questions his love for her, suggesting that true love demands bold action. She pushes him relentlessly until he finally agrees, succumbing to her will and his own dark desires. He agrees to murder, to commit the ultimate act of betrayal and violence. Together they drug Duncan's guards, rendering them senseless and vulnerable. Under the cloak of darkness, Macbeth creeps into the king's chamber, dagger in hand. He brutally kills the king in his sleep, shattering the peace of the night and forever staining his soul. Lady Macbeth, ever the pragmatist, swiftly covers their tracks, attempting to erase all evidence of their heinous crime, but Macbeth is already unraveling. He's already haunted by guilt, tormented by the weight of his actions. The deed is done, the die is cast, the natural order is shattered, and chaos descends upon the kingdom. Ambition has claimed its pound of flesh, its first victims, leaving a trail of blood and despair in its wake. Macbeth is crowned, the weight of the Scottish throne now his to bear. The prophecies of the witches have come to pass, and he stands as king, a position he craved with every fibre of his being. But the path to power was paved with treachery and blood, and the consequences of his actions begin to manifest. The crown, once a symbol of triumph, brings only paranoia. Every shadow seems to conceal a potential assassin, every whispered word a conspiracy against him. He is trapped in a prison of his own making, haunted by the ghosts of those he murdered to seize the throne. Fearing Banquo's heirs, as the witches foretold that Banquo's lineage would eventually rule, Macbeth sees Banquo's descendants as a direct threat to his own dynasty. The prophecy gnaws at his mind, fueling his paranoia and driving him to further acts of desperation. Driven by fear and ambition, he arranges Banquo's murder, a desperate attempt to defy fate and secure his reign. He hires ruthless assassins cloaked in darkness to eliminate Banquo and his son Fleance. Yet Banquo's son Fleance escapes the clutches of the murderers, eluding his would-be killers and vanishing into the night. This escape becomes another source of torment for Macbeth, a constant reminder that he cannot control destiny. At a banquet meant to solidify his power and display his regal authority, Macbeth is haunted by Banquo's ghost, a spectral manifestation of his guilt and the consequences of his actions. The ghost appears, a chilling reminder of his treachery. Macbeth's sanity begins to unravel before his guests. His erratic behavior and frantic outbursts reveal the depths of his inner turmoil, sowing seeds of doubt and suspicion among the Scottish nobility. Lady Macbeth, once resolute and the driving force behind Macbeth's ambition, now sleepwalks, her mind fractured by the weight of their shared crimes. She is tormented by guilt and blood-stained visions, unable to escape the horrors they have unleashed. The blood, she believes, will never wash from her hands. Macbeth's rule grows ever more brutal. His paranoia and desperation fuel his tyranny. In a fit of rage and paranoia, he slaughters Macduff's family, a heinous act that solidifies his image as a ruthless tyrant. This act of barbarity is the final straw, driving his enemies to open rebellion against his increasingly oppressive reign. Scotland suffers under his tyranny, the land groaning under the weight of his misrule and the constant bloodshed, and so nobles rally to Malcolm in England, seeking to restore order and justice to their ravaged homeland. The partnership between Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, once a formidable force, collapses entirely under the crushing weight of their shared crimes and the unbearable burden of guilt. The hero, once celebrated for his bravery and loyalty, has become a hated tyrant, despised by his people and feared by his court. He is isolated and desperate, trapped in a nightmare of his own making, with no escape from the consequences of his ambition. Malcolm and Macduff, the rightful heirs and loyal countrymen, now stand ready to reclaim their kingdom. They lead a formidable army against the tyrant Macbeth, their ranks filled with soldiers eager to avenge the fallen and restore peace to their war-torn land. To conceal their numbers and approach Dunsinane undetected, the soldiers cleverly camouflage themselves with branches cut from the very trees of Birnam Wood. This ingenious tactic fulfills the witch's prophecy, making it appear as if Birnam Wood itself is marching towards Macbeth's stronghold. Inside his castle, Macbeth clings desperately to the witch's prophecies, his mind clouded by ambition and fear. He foolishly believes himself invincible, shielded by the words of the supernatural beings, unaware of the twisted truth that awaits him. The realization dawns upon him with chilling horror. The forest is indeed moving, and his doom is at hand. Adding to his despair, Lady Macbeth, his partner in crime, succumbs to madness and dies, leaving him utterly alone. Despite the crumbling world around him, Macbeth steels himself and faces the inevitable battle, his heart filled with a mixture of dread and defiance. He prepares for war with grim resolve, knowing that this fight will determine his fate and the future of Scotland. In the final bloody fight, amidst the clash of steel and the cries of the dying, Macduff reveals the shocking truth of his birth, declaring that he was not naturally born, but rather delivered by caesarean section, thus not of woman born, as the witches foretold. With a chilling wave of understanding, Macbeth realizes the prophecies have sealed his doom. He has been tricked by the very forces he sought to control. In a final act of justice, Macduff slays the tyrant, ending his reign of terror. With Macbeth defeated, Malcolm is crowned king, ushering in a new era of hope and stability for the kingdom. He begins the arduous task of restoring order to Scotland, healing the wounds inflicted by Macbeth's tyranny. The tragedy ends, a dark chapter closed, serving as a stark warning of ambition's devastating cost, the corrupting influence of unchecked desire. It is a timeless tale about the true nature of power, its seductive allure, and the heavy responsibility that comes with wielding it.